Hi. First throw I'm going to demonstrate today is Osotogari. It's a very simple throw. Statistically, it's the most successful, or one of the more successful throws in competition. Basically, with the footwork, when I'm stepping in with my left foot first and coming off to an angle, touching my opponent's right shoulder, pulling with my left hand, pushing with my right hand, and then I hook or reap the near leg. Now I'm going to throw. From a different angle. Okay, body position is the most important thing. If your body's in the right position for a throw, invariably it works. Trouble is, you never get your body in the right position. It's always, somehow you're always kind of out of sync. And one of the ways to get back in sync is just to hop. When I come in for a throw, usually as I'm coming in for a throw, my opponent steps back and resists, leaving me out in the lurch. So all I do is I hook the leg, press down, and hop. Small, little hopping motions. As I come in, now I'm going to do it for the throw. Same thing from another angle. Again, another variation. If somebody is resisting you and they're stepping back and they're pulling away from you, that's the best way to do it is just the previous move. Sometimes somebody's going to come in and he's going to be a little aggressive. You try to throw him to the rear. You realize you're meeting too much resistance, so you throw him to the front. So as I come in, he's pushing me back. I'm going to turn around. From here, watch my left leg. Now I'm going to throw. From another angle. One of the important things of controlling your opponent and taking him down is trying to control your opponent's head. If you can get his head going in a direction, the rest of his body is pretty much going to have no choice but to follow. So the next move is what I call a clothesline move. It's the same throw, same position, but instead of keeping my elbow down, I'm just going to bring my elbow up. Tuck it, bicep underneath his chin, and lift up my elbow. Now I'm going to throw. From another angle. Very simple, very effective. Right under the jaw or even across the lower part of your opponent's mouth. The next thing we're going to do is a combination. The theory behind a combination of doing two attacks is that as your opponent escapes from the first attack or first throw, you're setting them up for the second throw. It's called Osoto to Kosoto. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come in for the same throw. I almost have him, and my opponent steps out of the way. As he steps out of the way, I place my right foot down and hook with my left foot. Now I'm going to throw. From another angle. The previous combination was two throws going to the rear. Now I'm going to show you another combination that kind of mixes up the direction. I'm going to try to first fake my opponent to his left front corner and then throw him to his right rear corner. One of the most popular throws that you see on TV is the old shoulder throw. Problem with any kind of forward throw is that you're exposing your back to your opponent. So if you don't have the right body position, you're in for a choke, you're in trouble. So if I come in for this throw and it doesn't work, he's pulling me to the rear, I'm going to do the Osotogari, or the rear throw. In anticipation of that, I don't commit my back totally, because I know he's going to counter me, so I just come in here. Now for the throw. From a different angle, watch the right leg. All right, the next move we're going to do is to throw off the grip, or throw before your opponent really gets a chance to settle up and grip and tie up with you guys. Oh, with me. And it's just an arm drag. We're just going to come in and grab the back of our opponent's tricep right from here. So if you're in this position here, you're just coming in here, okay? From here. So far, all our takedowns have been, our standing takedowns, have been just that, standing takedowns. One of the problems you encounter is that your opponent, once he finds himself getting caught in a throw or getting caught going down, and he's going to try to escape. And I'll give you an example. If I come in for a throw, he doesn't land on his back. There's no solid form. So what we try to do to ensure that takedown works is that we follow our opponent's body straight down to the mat, and we keep contact with him. So as I coming in for the throw, I keep my right elbow right into his chest or into his ribs, and I bring the left hand down. And then I just follow him down to the mat. Now for the throw. From another angle. So far, we've concentrated on attacking our opponent's right leg, right arm, right-sided of his body. Now we're going to attack the left leg. And instead of coming in with my left leg first, I'm going to come in with the other leg first. I'm going to come in with my right leg first. Bring my left leg behind. It's a little hop jump. And then I'm just going to hook my opponent. From another direction. Watch my right leg. Hook. Now for the throw. From another direction. One of the things you do with all these throws is you might have to learn how to escape, not only as a defender, but also as an attacker. The next technique we're going to do is I'm going to do the same throw, and all he's going to do is step out of the way and hop out. So I come in, and he escapes from another angle. The escape technique, even though it looks simple, it's deceiving. It's something that you have to develop through practice over and over again. By the way, all the moves that we do, the more you practice them, obviously, the better you're going to get at it. A lot of times you'll try these moves and they won't work for you, but at least you'll be familiar with them enough so that if they're done on you, you have a little bit better idea of what your opponent's trying to do to you. The next thing we're going to do is, as our opponent is going to escape from this move, I'm going to do, again, ensure my throw by falling down on my opponent and with my right hand grabbing my opponent's left leg. You get a better angle from here. Now we're going to go on to a combination. If our opponent is moving to our left or to his right, and he's moving in this direction, and we're doing a circular motion, we're going to hit our lead leg, or our right leg, and then go to the left leg, because he's going to find himself attacking. If he responds or reacts and tries to escape out of the way, I'm going to get him with the other leg. And slowly I'm just going to come in, hook, reap. So he moves a little bit. So far, we've done the outer reaping, inner reaping, inner reaping. Now we're going to do the hook, or Osotogari, from this side. So we've attacked this side, here. Now, we're going to just step in very simply with our left leg, half step, bring our elbows in, drop our hips down, and hook. Now for the throw. So far we've gone to the all rear throws and some forward throws. Now we're going to do a lateral movement, or a foot sweep. I just want to caution you that these throws take a lot of timing and practice. Don't be discouraged if you try these and they don't work right away. You'll encounter them a lot. Sweep and foot techniques are great. It's almost like a boxer's jab. Half the time they don't work, but they usually set it up for another takedown or for another throw, or open up an opportunity for you to do something else. Now we're just going to practice a foot sweep, and a foot sweep is just stepping and sweeping this way. Now, you have to do a foot sweep when the foot is unweighted. So in other words, anytime somebody takes a step, he weights and unweights his foot. You time it so that your foot sweeps your opponent's foot when he has unweighted that foot. If his weight is on that foot and I sweep it, it's not going to work. So it has to be as he's taking a step, and then it becomes an easier throw to practice. Now for the throw. From another angle. A good way to develop your footwork is to do this drill. This next technique is a very good way for you and your partner to develop your footwork. And all we do is kind of, in a sense, start dancing. We're going to step from side to side. Even though this is not a practical motion, it demonstrates and trains you for the weighting and unweighting of your foot. Then all I'm going to do is sweep, and then my opponent's going to sweep. Now if you concentrate on the feet, you see that this develops your foot accuracy and quickness and balance. The next move is what I call the stutter step foot sweep, or as I've been informed, okuri eri borai desha blah blah blah. As long as it works, don't get fouled up in the terminology. Stutter step, sweep. Now for the throw. From another angle. I'm going to do it left-sided. Forward throws are a big part of judo and our takedowns. One of the problems with a forward throw is that you're exposing your back to your opponent so that there's more to go wrong, and the consequences of an unsuccessful throw are a little bit higher. You know, if you don't make that, if you miss with a foot technique, consequences aren't that great. If you miss with a standing forward throw technique, can be a little more damaging. One of the most important things to remember is that you really have to make sure that you're controlling the upper body. And one of the techniques I use is my right hand, instead of holding in a typical grip or right-handed stance, I just creep around the back. Okay? From here, I just slip my hand around the back. You have the option of grabbing all 5 fingers outside. I like to put my thumb on the inside of the collar. Right from here. The left hand, instead of holding here, slips down to the forearm. Gripping is the first point where you encounter your opponent. And it's an overlooked area, and it's a very important thing. So once you've established your grip, and we've already gone over one of the positions, then you're in a stronger position to do a forward throw. Any forward throw you have, you must get body contact and make your body like glue to your opponent. I don't like to completely turn my back to my opponent because that leaves me open for a counter. I'm just in a weakened position. So all my entries are from here. Why? Because I have the option of going to the rear or going to the front. Grip and entry are the two most important components in terms of throwing your opponent over. I'm going to show you a forward throw that at first blush looks like a complicated throw. It's a one-legged throw. The guy's in the air. But if you practice it a few times, you'll find that it's really not that difficult. Uchimata. Step cross diagonally with the right leg. Bring the left leg up into a T. And then just slightly turn. As you're turning, pull your opponent onto your hip and slide your right leg up your opponent's groin area. Entry, throw. And now for the throw. From another angle. Whoops. Again, like with all throws that we're going to encounter resistance from our opponent, so it's not always going to work. And the technique of hopping or ken-ken is a very forgiving technique. In other words, it covers up your mistakes. It's very much like the grips and the entry. They're overlooked, but it's something I think that bears looking at. All we're going to do is as we come in, our opponent just somehow gets a little distance from us. We don't quite have what we want. As we're coming in for our attack, there's too much distance here. It's not working. So all we're going to do is just hop in a circular motion. The important part of this to remember is that anytime you're hopping, to always continue pulling with the arm and pushing with the right arm, pulling with the left arm. Now for the throw. Now we're going to practice a combination, do a combination in opposite directions. Before we were doing a couple of throws that were going in the same direction or we were changing directions. Now I'm going to drive my opponent to the rear or attack him to the rear and then throw him to the front. We've already covered the throw, and if you want to review it, you can take time out and review it. Ouchigari. And then I'm just going to come in. As he escapes, I'm going to come in for the forward throw. Now for the throw. From a different angle. Another popular forward throw is called Atanio Tosh or a tripping throw. The advantages to that throw is that you don't get countered as easily. Both your feet are on the ground, so you have a little more stability. The entry, again, right foot comes across, left foot comes back to your opponent's left foot, and then you're just going to pull with your left hand, push with your right hand, and step across with your right leg across your opponent's right leg. And now for the throw. From a different angle. Now, we're going to incorporate a combination. Combination, successful combination, again, just like a jab, you're always setting everything up with a jab, is the inner reap or the Osotogari. We've already gone over it. And all we're going to do is come in as our opponent steps out of the way, we come in for the throw. And now for the throw. From a different angle. The next throw we're going to encounter has to be executed with a lot of drilling and a lot of power and a lot of force behind it, because you're completely turning your back to your opponent. Seoi Nage, or Morote Seoi Nage, stepping in the same way we step in with a Atanio Tosh, only we don't trip the leg. We bring our right elbow underneath our opponent's armpit. And now for the throw. From another angle. Seoi Nage, the previous throw we just went over, is a very powerful throw, and there's a good success rate with it, but it's also an easy throw to counter. And one of the things your opponent will do is to push you down with his left hand as you're coming in, and you don't quite get the entry you need. So as you're coming in, you just drop down to your knee. Both your knees. And now for the throw. From a different angle. This principle can also be applied to a rear throw. We've already gone over the throw Osotogari, and now what we're going to do is called the knee drop Osoto. As we come in, we're encountering resistance. We instinctively know we're not going to quite make it, so we drop down, bring our hip across, and do the throw. And now for the throw. Now from a different angle. This is also a very painful, powerful throw because the guy drops from a deep distance. We talked about, I earlier referred to the grip fighting, that the entry in grip fighting is a very important part of your initial contact with your opponent. One of the things, because we have a jacketed grappling art, gripping is a big deal. A lot of times your opponent is going to get a grip, an advantageous grip that I showed you earlier, where he's grabbing behind the neck and my forehead is right in his deltoid area, and I can't seem to get out, and I won't be able to do a throw because he's got a superior grip. One of the things that we do on this, we get a little bit of distance and we do what is known as a 2-on-1. Just come up here, and like we're shaking a martini, we break the grip. We don't try to push. If we just push, he's going to win. Short grip, short jerky motion, like you're shaking a milkshake or a drink. And as we're doing that, we bring our head back. See that? It never works the first time. Works the third or fourth time. So, now, to break the grip on the other side of your opponent, it's a little different. You can do this one-handed. Most people, when they break the grip, they make the mistake of just going like this. Guy has a strong grip, it's not going to work. You've got to get a little momentum going, and what you do is you just come across here, bend the elbow, and then rip back. Either the grip breaks or the fingers go, one or the other. Up, bend, pull back. Don't overcommit yourself, because if you pull back too much and you bring your hand back here, he's going to come in for a throw. Like anything else, when you're encountering your opponent, I automatically assume that he's going to be stronger than I am. you are invariably going to come across somebody whose grips are stronger than yours. The way you can overcome that or compensate for that is that usually my two hands are stronger than his one. So if I have a grip and he has a tough grip and I'm here and I'm just not getting anywhere, I'm going to, with my left hand, slap the inside of his wrist. Now for the practice. Then the combination from here, and then you have your grip, and then you can go towards him. Grips are a very important part. Anywhere you put your hands on your opponent, you grip them, and you can do the throw and it works, that's fine. One of the variations that you'll encounter is something called the cross grip. And all we're doing is grabbing sleeve to sleeve as if you were shaking hands, stepping in, grabbing behind our opponent's back, and then we're just going to step in with our left leg and throw them off to the side with a sumigaeshi or a sacrifice technique. This technique works well in a defensive posture. So we're in here, step in, torque and pull with our left hand, and our leg is a lifting leg. Now for the throw. From another direction, next technique we're going to do is the Osotogari, or what is more commonly known as a double leg. We do it just simply by dropping down. When we drop down, we just grab our opponent's thighs, pull him in towards him a little bit, and then just lean into him. The most important thing here is to drop down. Now from another angle. Now we're going to do the counter to the Osotogari. As our opponent steps in, I'm going to hook him with my left hand. My right hand comes over behind his back, pulls in here. My left leg steps in between his legs, and my right leg lifts up. And now for the throw. From another angle. To continue with the sacrifice throw, we're going to do a variation of a very popular throw that you might have seen on TV, where you put your opponent, you put your foot in your opponent's stomach and throw him over his head. But like all sports, all martial arts and grappling arts, over the years things change and evolve through the years. And this variation you probably have not seen. Now from another direction, going to the side. This next move, even though it looks different to the uninitiated eye, is very similar to the last move. Seoi Nage, where you pick your opponent up as he's coming in for a throw. So just to demonstrate, as my opponent comes in, I anticipate drop down with my left hand, pick him up with a thigh, pull in with my right hand, and lift him up. Now for the throw. From another angle. Sensei is going to do it. It's a skashi, or a switch. As my opponent comes in, I'm going to sidestep and come across. And now for the throw. From another angle. The next sacrifice throw we're going to do is Atanio Tosh. Very simply, all I'm doing is, as my opponent is stepping in for a left-sided throw, I'm going to come across and throw him to the rear. Now for the throw. One of the things that we practice, a technique that's kind of developed or evolved recently through competition, is throwing somebody on the same, with gripping him on the same side of his body. Usually we're so used to squaring off on our opponent where we kind of have one hand on one side of the body and one hand on the other. In this case, what we're going to do is concentrate on the near arm and the near shoulder. So we're going to have kind of a goofy grip from here. And I grab wherever I can. As soon as my hands start to grab a little bit of my opponent's uniform, I'm already stepping in for the throw. And what I'm going to do is step in with my right leg, bring my left foot into a T formation, and start to twist. And with my hands, I'm going to bring both my fists together and bring them up close to my head. The closer my hands are to my body, the stronger the throw is. So I'm stepping in this way. Now for the throw. From another angle. The next throw we're going to do is similar to the previous one, and it's a very good throw to do when your opponent has overpowered you with a high right-sided grip. I'm going to come in with a left-sided throw. And what I do is I pull, step across, and bring the sleeve up. Now for the throw. From another direction. Next move, again, is a good response or reaction to somebody who's overpowering on the right side. Ogoshi. And all we're going to do is we're just going to step across and with our free hand, grab the back of his waist. From another angle. The next move we're going to do is going to attack our opponent's left front corner, and it's a foot technique. We're going to do a Seoi foot sweep, where we come in just like we're coming in for the Osoto or a rear throw, but we're going to switch directions on them and sweep to the side. Our left hand's going to come up underneath the elbow and really push back. And now for the throw. From another angle. In conjunction with that last move, even though it seems unrelated, we're now going to attack our opponent's right front corner. And all we're going to do is do a leg pick, but instead of a leg pick, because we have clothing on or apparel, we're just going to pick up our gi and pull the leg straight up, almost as if we're trying to throw his leg over his head. As we do this, we're going to sweep with our right leg. Now for the throw. From another angle. Now, in addition to the throws that we're doing, we're picking from the side. This is a direct, I'm lifting this from wrestling moves, but recently in international competition, the Europeans are so successful with a high crotch pick. Basically what they're doing is they're holding, cross gripping here to control the upper body. They're going to pull in, duck down, and grab the back leg here, and just run into the opponent until he falls down. Now for the throw.